no-show, nightmarish disappointment by Gonzaga. I was nauseated. I was dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong. Congrats to Baylor. The telephone calls in the first hour from Baylor fans, Baylor alum, just incredible. We've heard from a lot of college basketball fans who were disappointed, surprised like me. Gonzaga threw up on themselves. I mean, the dream is dead. I can't wait for these results in the Schein Box question. Gonzaga's 2020-21 season was, because this is a bitter disappointment. I thought they were that great all year. They had the look all year. I don't think they were overrated. I think they were fairly rated as a historical team. And then, they were playing hot potato with the basketball last night. Suggs looked like he never suited up before. Timmy looked completely overmatched. Kispert looked like this was his first ever sporting event. It was terrible. It was 9-0 early, down 15 early. Baylor just embarrassed Gonzaga on the boards, and it was wild. And I was dead wrong. I didn't think they would ever feel pressure, and they did. They cracked under the most intense and immense pressure, and I was stunned by it. So the conversation continues on Gonzaga, and there's really two conversations. Gonzaga being horrendous, and Baylor being a worthy champ that was a top 2, top 3 team in college basketball, whether that's rankings or the eyeball test all year long. And they just suffocated Gonzaga last night. Congrats to Baylor. And that's one, just a complete and utter garbage, grotesque no-show for Mark Few and Gonzaga. So that remains a major topic for discussion. That was the biggest topic in the first hour. Second biggest topic, the Sam Darnold trade. Why I love it for Sam. Love it for Carolina. Love what Scott Fitterer, the new general manager for the Panthers, said yesterday, which is exactly what I said on television, that this is going to be amazing. Loved him at USC. And he's only going to be 24. And you're going to put him with those weapons on offense. You're going to put him with Joe Brady and Matt Rule, great offensive mind, great head coach. And I think the Panthers are going to surprise the people this year. And now they're set up for all sorts of options with that 8th overall pick. They can make a trade. I think there could be a team that gets a little bit desperate to trade up and get a quarterback. We'll see how many are off the board by 8. Maybe Denver, maybe New England, maybe Pittsburgh, maybe Washington, maybe New Orleans. We're going to see what transpires here. They can pick an offensive tackle with that 8th overall pick. They can take the best defensive player perhaps in the draft. We'll see what Detroit does. This is going to be fascinating, but it's all set up here for Sam Darnold to be a success. Remember Ryan Tannehill, what he was under Adam Gase, and then how he blossomed into an MVP, so an MVP candidate, taking a team to the playoffs. So I think this is going to be amazing for Darnold. There's risk involved for Joe Douglas. I give him credit, found the guy in Zach Wilson. It's his dude. There were other options here. Could have kept Darnold, could have taken a tackle, taken a receiver, taken Kyle Pitts, could have traded the pick. Obviously, could have gotten a king's ransom. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Joe Douglas that this works. Chances are it will, but it better for his future in New York. So a lot of Panthers fans have flooded the phone lines. A lot of Jets fans have flooded the phone lines. We will get into all the baseball, Stanton, the Mets, the Reds. We'll get into Tatis. We will get into the future for Aaron Rodgers as we move along, get into North Carolina basketball, get into a little Knicks Nets later in the show. Calls have been off the charts, amazing today. Greg in Mississippi, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Well, Mr. Schein, I guess I'm one of the authority that I had Baylor all the way. I guess, Mr. Schein, Gonzaga's a great story, but until you see them do it in a big spot, Mark Few's been there twice now. I'm trying to remember, I guess he kind of like Brad Stevens or maybe Lute Olson before he broke through. He's got to do that, and you just kind of like Tom said, when these blue bloods are not there, and you said it's the year for you to do it is when Kansas or Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina, Michigan State, all were down. What I'm saying, down that national championship deal, you got to break through, and you just kind of feel for them, even though they're going to be probably preseason number 1 next year.
I feel terrible for Gonzaga. It was a complete and utter no-show. It was beyond a a hot mess. It was a disgrace. And, this was supposed to be their one shining moment coming out of Spokane, Washington, and the WCC. And listen, you're right, Greg. I'm not burying my head in the sand. I pay attention. I read Seth Davis in The Athletic. There's a realistic chance Gonzaga is rated number one next year. But, it's going to be difficult for people like me to scream Gonzaga, Gonzaga, Gonzaga when they had this ultimate shot at winning a championship. It was all there, and they embarrassed themselves.
Yeah, Mr. Schein, and it just maybe the third time will be the charm. But, Mr. Schein, real quick on the Darnold deal, I agree with you. Good move for Carolina. You didn't have to give up a lot. Just maybe this means, I guess, we got to look for that first Thursday night game of the season. It's going to be the Jets at the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence against Zach Wilson. And let's see, Mr. Schein, I guess what's this going to do with Bridgewater? Where do you see him going? Back up somewhere to somebody maybe in a shaky quarterback situation? Great show, Mr. Schein. We're looking forward to you and the baseball coverage and the NFL draft, the schedule coming out. We'll see you, Mr. Schein. Appreciate it.
Love it, Craig. Excellent stuff. And the Panthers did tell Teddy Bridgewater that he can seek another team. And it's going to be interesting to see what that leads to because, it's funny how this changes over the course of 365 days where, first of all, if I'm Carolina, I don't regret the Teddy Bridgewater signing at all. He's better than Cam Newton, and that was a no doubt about it, no-brainer kind of move. I think at this stage, and that was Teddy coming off of, obviously, a successful run in New Orleans. New Orleans has been thrown out as a possibility. I think that Sean Payton's moved on with Jameis, and he's moved on with Taysom Hill, so I don't see New Orleans. Chicago, in theory, would make sense, but he got Ryan Pace committed to QB1 with the red hair, so I don't think that would happen. Would Bill Belichick take that chance and take that flyer? Listen, I think Teddy Bridgewater is better without question than Cam Newton, so if I'm New England, I would have interest. I think San Francisco as a backup quarterback makes sense, but a clear backup once they trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Denver could make some sense. I would much rather have someone like Teddy Bridgewater than Drew Lock. As another example, right? I mean, and I don't think that Teddy is, a rock solid, must be a starter in the NFL, but, I think Teddy Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And if I'm Washington, I would have interest, but I don't expect there to be this robust market here for Teddy Bridgewater, but clearly he's going to be an ex-Carolina Panther, and that's fine. And that's the other thing too. Teddy's a highly popular teammate. So, and I say that as a compliment, but also as got to be a little bit careful from this standpoint, because you have to realize that if you bring someone in who's too popular, and, the team's kind of looking sideways at who should be the starter, might not work for every situation. But those off the top of my head would be the best situations here for Teddy Bridgewater. Look, I could mention a team like, I don't know, Pittsburgh, but that's not going to be the case. Chad in San Antonio, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Shiner back beer. How are you, my friend?
What's up, Chad? How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm doing fabulous. So let me just start off by saying yourself, Bob Stew, Mikey Fitz need to be on the Mount Rushmore of sports talk radio. There's nothing more interactive in the sports talk radio community than the show that you all put on. You guys are fabulous.
I really appreciate that. That means a lot, Chad. Really means the world. Thank you. Thanks for being part of it.
All right, so now 156. Remember that number. Remember that number because that's the total points. 86-70. I took 156 as the total. I called Bob yesterday and I said, "Hey Bob, what do you think of 156?" He said, "I don't know, man. It's tough, to guess totals." I said, "Yeah, I know." So I made $1,100 on 156 on the button is a total. Baby.
Wow, look at you, Chad. Look at you.
Woo! I ain't never won nothing. I've never won no pool. I'm in the pools every year for football. The same bracket. It's kind of a cool one. We do it like DraftKings. You take 2 in the first round. You can never take them again, and then 1 every round after that. You can never.
Oh,
take them again.
that's awesome. By the way, on the flip side, Theo woke up this morning. I told this to Bob this morning. Theo comes into where I prep every morning, same time, and he had such a smile on his face, and he went to bed after the Stanton Grand Slam, and he came in, and he just wanted to check his favorite app, the Yahoo Sports app, and see how many Gonzaga won by, and he cried. And he was moved. That was his first, like, oh my God. He didn't have a reaction like that when the Bills lost. He's like, this is a championship. My team that I was rooting for, other than Syracuse, lost in the championship. So, it was seeing that through your kids' eyes, the highs and lows of sports. I mean, Chad, I'm thrilled for you. There are a lot of people, including Theo Schein, upset with the result last night.
Well, I tell you what, congrats to Theo, though, because he got his feet wet.
That's right.
In
right.
March Madness.
That's right.
And he's going to feel a high, and he's going to feel those lows, and you never know. He's going to be like his old man and him embedded in it for the rest of his life.
And that's what I told him. You have the highs. He went to bed last night, feeling great after Stan hit the Grand Slam, and then the low, obviously, of the team that you wanted to win the whole thing and thought was going to win the whole thing, losing in the championship.
Heck yeah, Adam. We'll tell them this. So my sophomore daughter, Trannon, last year, her freshman year in the state of Texas, she was all-state. Her sophomore year, she wasn't all-state.
Yeah.
Now she's looking forward to her junior year.
It's all about the
experience
of it, Chad. I'm with you. I love it. I'm with you.
But tell Theo and Maya to hang in there and just
and you heard the Schein kids on the podcast, and, the winner got a Fudgy the Whale cake with their team on it, whoever won the picks. And Jolie won, noted bracketologist. She took Baylor because Baylor rhymed with Taylor, as in Taylor Swift. So she was able to win the family pool and capture the title of Best Schein for March Madness, when her dad was screaming on the radio about Gonzaga. Vince in Georgia, our good friend. Next on Sports.
Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Vince, what's going on? Why so blue? Why so melancholy?
Well, to your question, your poll question about who won, Sam Darnold won. He won the trade because he gets to go to a professional NFL team, and I get stuck staying with the Jets. I'm really happy for him because he's going to get a real shot at success. And like you were saying earlier, this is a defining moment, not just for Joe Douglas, but for the Jet organization. Because they better be right on this kid, because if this doesn't work out, this is going to set this organization back for at least 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, because you're not going to get premium players coming out of the draft to come to New York if this doesn't work out. Now, like you said, I watched the tape of Wilson. He looked a lot better than, what I thought, and he does have a Mahomes-type quality to him. But this you can't miss this. You can't miss this. This will be Joe Douglas' defining moment. And, for Jet fans that was ripping Sam, you look at the crap that he had around him to work with, no receivers, no running game,
no
offensive line.
No.
And now he gets a real chance. I'm really happy for him. And I'll be honest with you, I'll probably be watching more Panther games. Not that I'm a big Darnold fan, but the kid, he was treated so unfairly here. And what bothered me the most was that some of these Jet fans, they didn't even see that. They just kept, he wasn't Justin Herbert. I mean, Justin Herbert's come out every year. You know, the guy had nothing to work with.
The Jets failed Sam Darnold. That's it. The Jets failed Sam Darnold without question. And Vince, I think you're going to root for the Jets like no other, and you're going to take immense pleasure rooting for Sam Darnold. And you're going to, and I think he's going to be a major success away from the Jets. And you as a Jets fan will root for him. He always handled himself with class, never threw anyone under the bus. And I think with that coaching and direction, he's going to be a rock star in Carolina. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam, for taking my call.
Vince sounds blue, and I get it because, he thought Darnold, when they took him 3rd overall, he was going to be that rock star for a long time. I did too. I don't regret saying any of that. Jets failed him, not the other way around. Jets failed him, not the other way around. And now with a real organization, real direction, real coaching and offensive mind. And the shame of it is, right? I think it's all kind of there for the Jets too now. With LaFleur and Saleh and the upside of Joe Douglas, but he better be right. Wilson, I think, has star potential. But, he can't be mediocre considering he gave up Darnold, could have gotten an offensive lineman, could have had a receiver, could have had Pitts, could have traded the pick for a haul. There's no middle ground if you're Joe Douglas. More of your outstanding telephone calls, and we'll hear from a giddy Scott Drew right after this.